appointment is at 10:40,
Where?
Green Bay Road,
Oh, with who?
Bloomhoff,
Loomhoff?
his doctor. Get there about 10 minutes early. I got him, he's already e-signed in, so I did all that.
Oh, okay. Cause Gus was, or John was gonna take him, but John said he still has tubes sticking out of himself,
Yeah.
so I'll come get him.
I was gonna reschedule otherwise, but yeah, that's,
I'll
it's
take
a
him.
wellness one, so they're gonna do labs right away, and then they'll go up, and then they'll, but this is like every 6 months. Then
Oh, okay. All right, I'll take care of it.
No,
Oh, but just before I forget, if they ask, we've been using mineral oil in his ear, and it works awesome.
Okay.
I remember after we had went down there the first time with our bikes like that, I would go down there alone. But I watched it pretty much because her mother didn't like me. At least that's how I felt. Her dad was no problem. I would even help him with his stuff, you know. I remember.
Did you hang out with her brothers?
No, they were all older.
Oh,
She was the youngest.
okay.
Do you know Joyce?
Mhm.
Well, Dick was her. She was married to Dick.
Yeah.
In the first place, I think that she was a late comer to the family to begin with, you know. So there was a
Oh.
gap in ages already.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought there was like every 2 years or whatever.
Oh man, that's so long ago, and my brain don't work like it used to either.
It's okay. Okay. All right. So you just dated until you enlisted?
Huh?
You dated until you enlisted?
I
Okay. Let me write it out.
You mean dated with her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I was on my 18th birthday. I went and enlisted, and that was in February, and the 29th of December, I had to be at the train station, and there was 6 of us. I went down to Milwaukee all at the same time, and had our physicals and all the stuff you do when you enlist, when you first join the service. And then we from there they put us on the train, and we rode forever on the train because when we got down south, the train stopped at every farm and they put the cans of milk on the train.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then we'd go to the next. You could see the next stop always,
Yeah.
if the train curved it the right way. If it turned this way, I couldn't see. If it turned this way, I could see. If it turned, never mind.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's interesting. That's how they got the milk. Huh. Okay. Can you tell me the story of how you proposed to Mom?
oh boy. Oh yeah. I went down and I bought a ring set.
Yeah.
What I could have,
Yeah.
what I could afford, and it wasn't much. Anyway, it was near Christmas, and St. Paul had a Christmas service. Or at least this is the way I'm trying to remember it. And we went to St. Paul's Christmas Eve service.
Were you home from the service when this happened?
No, I don't think I was in yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, let's go back a little bit. At Christmas, the Christmas Eve service, I asked her to go along with me to it. So we went to it, and we went to the service, and then we went to the car after the service, and I said to her, "Will you marry me?" She said, "You know I will." Big deal, huh?
That was it?
Yeah. So at that point, my folks or my ma wasn't happy with me.
Why?
She didn't like her.
Grandma didn't like Mom?
Huh?
Grandma didn't like Mom?
Yeah, she didn't like her.
Why?
And I don't think her ma liked me. Like I say, her dad was no problem. I remember one time we were over there, and she was doing dishes, and I thought of going and saying, "You go visit, I'll go do the dishes," and I thought better of it, and I never did it, but.
Why didn't Grandma like Mom?
Let's see. Oh, we lived next door to Wickman's when we first moved out there. And apparently Mrs. Wickman and Bev and Betts hung together.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Bev's mother didn't like Betts. And
Really?
I don't know. And I remember I was going to leave the house to go to church. I was going to ask her, and my mom didn't want me to do it.
But you didn't say why?
No, she just I don't know if she had somebody else in mind or not. I don't know. It didn't make any difference to me. She was the one I wanted. It didn't make it what they wanted.
Right. When did Grandma come around?
Well, my mom's opinion was all based on what Mrs. Wickman told her.
Oh.
Apparently, they went back, or I'm going to guess that Mrs. Wickman came down by my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably gabbed about all their shit that they liked and didn't like in the daytime, you know.
Uh-huh. Okay, so then, here.
Yeah, so they enlisted. We went down to Texas, and we went for getting involved with basic and stuff like
Sure.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And we went through a preliminary, and then we went through basic. And when we got done with basic, this is down in San Antonio, they put us on a bus, and we went north to, I can never remember it. It's in the middle of the state, and down along the bottom. Well, anyway, we went there. We got, and they stopped in front of a barracks, and we went in, and everybody got a place to stay or sleep in their bed. They were all open bays, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I had a single bed and the rest of all were double.
That's interesting.
I don't know how that happened, but anyway, we got there. The Sergeant Appleton, he came out. He was a staff sergeant, just like I was when I got out. But anyway, he said, the first thing you're going to do is write a letter to your mother. So I wrote one to Beth. Then I wrote one to my mom. That much I remember.
Yeah. So just so I understand, when you were in the service, you went into the service when you were engaged, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Because the 29th is when we went down to the depot to head to Milwaukee and keep going.
So you were engaged on Christmas Eve. You got engaged on Christmas Eve?
I have something about Christmas Eve.
So you were engaged on Christmas Eve?
No.
Oh, I thought you said after church on Christmas Eve.
Oh, let me.
Okay, go ahead, think about it.
Boy, I really can't answer. Let's see. I gotta say no, because it was the 29th of December when they took me to the airport, not airport, the railroad station, when the rest of us, there were 6 of us, went down to Milwaukee. And it was just my mom and dad that went with me to the station. So I'd say no, we weren't.
So,
yeah, that's right, because she was, where the hell was she? Had something to do with resorts.
oh yeah, she worked up at a resort.
And I knew it was the 29th of December that I went down there, and we took the train from there to Milwaukee. We went through physicals and sworn in there, and then we got on a train from there and went down through the south to that. And it was February 2nd, if I remember right. So right around February 2nd that I wrote her. Yeah, because I wrote her letter first, and then I wrote my mom, because that was, I was told to, okay, now write a letter home,
Yeah.
So, no, write your mother, tell her where you are.
So then you probably came back and then got engaged. On leave, maybe?
We got engaged at Christmas.
While you were on leave?
Huh?
Back on leave? From the service? It had to have been, because you were 19, which means mom was 17. She wouldn't have gotten engaged when she was 17.
No, I remember I wrote her a letter, and sometime later, I got a letter from her that she was. I'll never know how glad she was she got that letter. So apparently things weren't good between us prior to that.
So you
I remember it was February when I wrote that letter to her. That was supposed to be to my mom. Well, I did write one to my mom, but it wasn't the first one.
So you probably came home on leave and got engaged.
Yeah, it was at Christmas time.
Oh, so like a year after you enlisted? Or 2 years?
As I remember, it was around February
What was?
that we got engaged.
You said it was Christmas.
Oh no, it was Christmas. Because we went to church Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Okay. So you got engaged at Christmas and got married in March.
Yeah, March 6, 1954.
Okay. All right. That all makes sense now.
Huh?
Yeah. That makes sense. Oh, keep dropping this thing. I think that's it for today.
That's it?
For today.
Okay.
Um,